The hardest part of the hurricane for me was my daughter, who lives outside the city limits of Ocean Springs. She decided she was going to stay home. As the day went on, she called me and told me that the water was coming in her house, and I'm thinking it's just coming through her front door. And she said, "No, Mama, you don't understand. It's coming through the walls." She said, "Mama, what do I do if it comes up in the attic?" I lost contact with her, and I did a lot of praying. I've never prayed so hard. So the next morning I saw her supervisor, and I talked to him, and he said, as soon as we get through with this meeting, I will go. And I was walking across the parking lot out here, and my cell phone rang, and it was her. And I just thank God, you know, that she was all right.
%80 of New Orleans was underwater after Katrina. You had over 10,000 people who had to take shelter in the Superdome. So when Katrina happened, the basement of the courthouse flooded.
About half of the notarial archives was on the 3rd floor of the 1340 Porges building. However, all of the modern records and the second half of the 20th century were in the basement of the Civil District Court building.
The records were in water for days.
It actually seeped in through one wall that was compromised on the Porter Street side and through the floor. During Hurricane Katrina, about 2,000 volumes were wet from a flood.
Basically, our preparations then were just to cover everything up, cut the computers off, place plastic or whatever on the files, and then the county would come in and move all the books, put them on a tractor trailer, and move them out of the danger zone. 90% of the residential neighborhoods, as well as downtown where the courthouse is, suffered water damage. In our land records office, we had about 3 feet of water, and it covered up or it damaged some of our files, mainly our plats. And some of those were able to be restored.
The predictions were it would be 6 to 8 months before we could even get into New Orleans. People got into New Orleans immediately as soon as the water got to the point where we could get in.
After the storm, we were back and running in 12 days, our land records.
The fact that the civil court system in Orleans Parish was one of the first systems that was able to get up and running after Katrina is a testament to the people who worked in those offices. 5 of my employees lost their homes, and but they were good clerks, and when we were able to get you all clear to come back, they were here doing their duties. We reopened the civil side in Gonzales, which is about a 20 to 30 minute drive from New Orleans. The property records offices reopened in the convention center in October of 2005.
During that time, the people that came to our office were people who had emergency situations. I'm trying to get my child back. I'm looking for particular information about my family's succession. So everyone who came to our office not only needed our assistance with obtaining their court documents, they also wanted someone to listen to their plight.
The company hired a restoration company, and they sent crews in to secure the wet records. It took them about 2 or 3 weeks. It was a tedious process. The records that were wet and damaged were placed in refrigerated trailers.
You have to know my background. My mother instilled in me the importance of your job, the responsibility that you have, and the love of the land.
I fell in love with the archives when I realized that every contract in the private sector was here. Every building that you wanted to document, every phase of people's lives, social history, the institutional histories, everything that you can possibly want to look at in the private sector, sooner or later found itself in our history to a notary's office.
We worked additional hours, had staff stationed in the hallway of the office, anything that we needed to do in order to provide the service that the public required from us. Anything that we could do to make it easier for the people coming into our office to conduct their business while still maintaining what we needed to do personally.
I know after the storm, with the Platts sitting in that building cooking, I took some of them to my house, and the next thing I know, here comes Mr. Miller, and he says, "You can't have these at your house." And so he took them and brought them back. But I was going to try to dry some of them out because I know how important it is, because some of them were so old. They were done like in the 20s, and they're irreplaceable. But we did get them fixed, and we lost a few plats, but not maybe 3 or 4 at the most.
It was an opportunity for the staff of the clerk's office to come together and do what we say we do, provide quality public service to the citizens of Orleans Parish.
When we talk about what people did to help get the court set up, we also have to think about what was going on in people's personal lives. But staff was committed, even though they didn't have housing here, we were able to get staff to stay on one of the boats, the big casino boats that were here, so that we could work and get the court system up and running.
Our motto is one office, one team, committed to serve the public. And during that time, we showed it.
And that New Orleans recovery 10 years later, even though it has been significant, we still have strides to make. We have neighborhoods that 10 years later have not returned. And we know that 10 years later, they will not return.
Eventually, the county allowed me to hire a company to come in and scan the court records like we do land records. So my office is paperless. All the records nowadays are scanned and safe from an event like Katrina.
I am most excited about all of the changes that are going on at the clerk's office. I am excited about where we have come with our new land record system and the improvements that we are still making to that system.
We're going to eventually have e-filing, and we are going to be online. There's just so many things that this is bringing to us.
I am excited about all of the things that we can do to help make the city of New Orleans better. That's the kind of things that I'm excited about.
I think the strides that we've made as a city and as a state is a testament to the people, not only of this country, but of the world. There are people who came to New Orleans, gave up whatever they were doing to help us rebuild. You saw it before Katrina, and you see it today. People love New Orleans, and I think it's a testament to our culture. And our culture is a mix of all people, and I think the people are resilient. But Katrina really showed the goodness of people, that basically, as human beings, we are good people and care about each other. I could do anything. I could lose everything, but I'm a survivor.